This shit so good, should be illegal. Need round two, I need a sequel. Hit the backwood like a freak though. You next level, you a chico. In so deep, you hit my seat plug. Got me singing like a...
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Marley here. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for clicking on this video. And if you're new here, hi. I post all sorts of different types of videos, story times, makeup, routines, tips and advice, and just lots of things from my personal experience. So if that's something you're interested in, don't forget to subscribe below, like and comment this video if you do enjoy it. So today's video is going to be advice and tips on learning a language. So I've been learning Portuguese for 3 months now, consistently, like properly learning, not just like on and off, and also Italian. I'm learning Portuguese because I have family in Portugal and I love the country, and I'd love to visit Brazil one day, bearing in mind that there are differences between Brazilian Portuguese and Portugal Portuguese, but I can get into that in another video. And the other language that I'm learning is Italian. I'm wanting to learn Italian because I just love the sound of the language. I love Italy, I love the food, the culture, everything about Italy, so that's why I'm learning Italian as well. Mainly I'm focusing on learning Portuguese first. That's the language that I'm focusing on the most and that I'd like to learn first. And I'd say that I'm probably intermediate now at Portuguese, thanks to the tips that I'm going to be telling you guys about and consistency and motivation. So first of all, I'm going to give you some pros on learning a language, and I've got it written down here. And that's why if I'm looking down, it's because I'm reading from here. So why learn a language? Well, learning a language improves your memory, it enhances your critical thinking and problem solving skills, it enhances the ability to multitask, it sharpens the mind, it keeps the mind sharper for longer, it enhances decision making, and your first language is improved because obviously you're having to think about all sorts of things in your first language as well. So as you can see, that's just a few of the benefits of learning a language. Personally for me, my memory's definitely improved. My English has definitely improved because I'm constantly thinking and remembering things from English that I may have forgotten, talking with people who are learning English and reminding me of things that I'd forgotten about and certain rules, and keeping my mind sharper. Definitely, I would say that my mind is definitely more focused now, more able to do things for a longer period of time. Problem solving skills, yeah, definitely I'd say that has definitely improved, because when you're learning a language you're often making mistakes and you're having to solve the problems, you know, that you're dealing with. So yeah, that's just a few of the benefits of learning a language. So how I've benefited, I've met loads of new friends and learned about new cultures. I've made several friends from Brazil, I've met friends from Italy, which has just been great. I've just learnt about new cultures. I've learnt about the food in Brazil, I've learnt about the music, about the culture, about some politics of Brazil, about what Brazil's about, the customs. I've learnt so much about Brazil just from speaking with people who are Brazilian. I've gained a new hobby. So before I was lacking a hobby. I had several things that I would do. I would do my music, but it wasn't a consistent hobby that I was constantly focused on and working on every day. Whereas with these languages, you have to work on it every day so that you keep like getting better, because I feel like if I miss a day, I do miss some vocabulary and like I'm a bit like, I'm not as sharp. And like I said, become more aware of my own language. So yeah, and I'm gonna now be saying what I've used to learn my 2 languages. So firstly, I've been using Duolingo. So this is the layout of the app. As you can see, there's different stages which you can practice on. You can also learn like several languages at one time, as you can see here. This is me just showing you around the app. You have these stories that I was talking about for different types of occasions, so it gets you used to the conversations that you would have in real life. These are really, really helpful. And this is just what my profile looks like. My friend, well, my boyfriend is my friend on there. The league, which you basically work to go up on. Some extra bits here. The plus version. As you can see, it shows you the different types of things it offers on Plus, which you can also get a free trial, I think, for a week on Plus, which is great. So yeah, this is the app really. It's really, really good. Next up, these are the tips. These are what I copy down a lot of the time. Kind of just gives you a bit more of an insight into the app and the rules and stuff of what you're learning. And then now I'm just going to show you how it actually looks when you're doing a test. So it gives you multiple choice questions, questions where you write, questions where you listen, questions where you talk as well. So yeah.
Quem? Pela. Frito. Sal. Grande. Vejo xícaras com água nelas.
As. Eu. Ela. Inglês.
O homem paga pelas roupas.
And there's the little encouraging quote.
I cannot recommend this app enough. It's amazing. So it's a free app and it has so many different types of things on it that help you to learning resources. I'm just going to list everything about Duolingo here that I've written down. Yeah, so it has multiple choice, it has listening, speaking and writing exercises, which is amazing because you're then improving all of those things that I've just said. Your multiple choice, it's like problem solving, thinking, listening, you're starting to hear the language and how natives will speak it. Speaking, it improves your pronunciation and your accent. And writing exercises is just always great to be able to write in the language. The app's completely free to use, which is great because I found that a lot of the apps do cost a little bit of money, which is okay, but personally for me, I haven't got a lot of money to spare on apps. So there's loads of free learning resources out there. Duolingo is one of them. So you also have like reading exercises. Like I think I said reading exercises. You practice to gain hearts, which basically can move you up levels and get you more things, and gems, which can buy you rewards. So this actually motivates you, I think, to keep practicing because you want to get new hearts and new rewards and keep moving up levels. It has a beginner, intermediate and I think it's difficult or fluent settings. So you can choose, you know, whatever. If you already know a bit of the language, you can kind of go to intermediate. If you know nothing, beginner. If you're like, you know the language, you just want to sharpen up your skills, you can go to the more difficult setting. You have a leaderboard, which you, the more you practice, the higher you get up the leaderboard and gives you more rewards. You can learn multiple languages at once. So I'm learning Italian and I'm learning Portuguese, and in the near future I would also like to learn Arabic. So you can learn like, I think it's like 4 or 5 languages at once. I wouldn't recommend learning that many at once, but I've just started off with 2. It includes endangered languages such as I think it's Navajo, I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, and Hawaiian, and this helps to preserve endangered languages.
as well as Yiddish and Gaelic. Again, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, please do correct me. It also has a premium setting which you pay for. It's $12.99 a month, I think it is, and it's like unlimited hearts, and it's just basically you can get more rewards from the premium service, and it gives you daily reminders to practice, as well as like not inspirational, what's that word, as well as like little reminders so like when you're actually on like Duolingo and you're actually like doing one of the tests, it will say like, well done, you're doing really well. So that's Duolingo. That is the #1 app to learn a language that I really recommend. It's amazing, and this is not sponsored at all. I just love this app. Okay, so on to the next one. So I'm gonna talk about 2 YouTube channels that I like. So the first YouTube channel I like is Speaking Brazilian Language School. This is, I think her name is Virginia, and she basically has short videos on YouTube about speaking Brazilian Portuguese. So she has a variety of different videos. You can kind of choose whatever you want to focus on for the day. She speaks Portuguese, but she has English subtitles to follow along with. So this is improving your listening and your reading skills. She speaks clearly, precisely and slowly, which for me is something that's really important when I'm learning a language. She has short videos including examples of things that she's talking about, which really help because I like to write down the little examples so I can, like, you know, go back to it and refer to it. She also offers a short, I think some free mini course. I'm not sure exactly what it is though. And she also has a website school, which is speakingbrazilian.com. So that's that channel. I really recommend that channel. For example, if I'm struggling with a certain like word or rule in Portuguese, I was struggling with por and para, and I was able to go onto one of her videos that was specialising on those 2 words, and I could then practice that. And she, like I said, she gives examples, so it's really great to be able to practice that. The next channel is Falcon Drake. He's a British man who visited Brazil. I believe he may have lived in Brazil, but don't quote me on that. He decided to record his journey learning Portuguese, which is great because you can follow him along on his journey and see how he's improving along the way. He has videos such as Brazilian slang and things he loves about Brazil and more. He also had a video of him practicing on Duolingo, so he had Duolingo on the screen and he was like, you could follow along basically with what he was practicing. And he also includes subtitles in Portuguese, so it means that Portuguese people can watch and English people can watch. So yeah, Falcon Drake, I really recommend his channel as well. The next app I'm going to talk about it's a dictionary app called Lingli. It's a free app. It includes different languages to translate, and of course guys, with all of these I will include pictures and videos and everything. It gives different words for the word you search, for example how to use the word. So if you search like happy, it will give you words related to happy, like joyful, cheerful, you know, things like that. So if you're wanting to find another word for happy, you know, you can easily do that. It tells you whether the word is a noun, verb or adjective, etc., which is helpful for me because I can never tell the difference between any of them. It offers more translations and uses of the word from other online sources. So as you'll see, it basically has a bit below where it has scanned from the internet and like got different examples from the internet. So I think one was like Wikipedia, that it found like an example of that word just to give you more of a context on how you can use it. You can download dictionaries to use offline, which is great if you're traveling or you haven't got Wi-Fi or, you know, anything like that. And it also shows the history of words you've searched for before, just in case you forget them, and you can re-search them again. So again, another thing you can use is Google Translate. Obviously not the best thing to use, but it does help me a lot. It's free, it has a speaking example, allows you to get used to pronunciations, words and sentences. It has a camera, handwriting, conversation and voice option settings, so that you can, if you see a word and you don't understand what it is, you can take a picture of it and it can translate it for you. And it offers a lot of different languages obviously to translate to, which is great.
I am glad you liked the gift.
Fico feliz que você tenha gostado do presente.
This one that I'm going to talk about is probably one of my favourites. It's called Tandem. So it's a free social media app that allows you to talk to people who are natives or learning the language that you're trying to learn. It offers tutors which you can pay for on an hourly rate to help you learn more. You don't have to pay for a tutor, you don't have to, you can just talk to people on there. Has a community page where you can browse through people on the website to talk to, so you can choose maybe who has common interests as you, or, you know, what's your preference, I guess. You're allowed to leave reviews for people you've spoken to, so that obviously helps other people see whether they would like to speak to that person, which is really, really helpful. You can choose who you want to talk to, such as gender, age, natives, etc. And it also offers a pro option too, which is you can pay for, but I haven't got that, I've just got the free version. So I really, really love Tandem. I feel like it's a social media site mixed with a business site, which for me is really, really helpful because it feels more professional, it feels more safe than other sites that I've used. So Tandem is free to download. I definitely recommend that. Go and download that. Interpals, it's a similar website. It's a free app. You can talk to people around the world and make friends, and you don't have to talk to people from the language that you're learning. You can just talk to anybody. Personally, I definitely prefer Tandem. I just feel like it's more secure, more safe, and also it's more updated. Interpals has a few glitches on it, but it is a good site also to learn on and to meet new friends around the world. Okay, so next, I want to talk about some Instagram accounts that I follow, helping me to learn Portuguese. So there's Paint Todo Dia.
Okay, basically, I was supposed to say it Paint Todo Dia.
Really sorry. It's like a facts page basically. It gives facts in Portuguese that I then translate into English because they're quite easy. They're like beginner to intermediate, more intermediate maybe, paragraphs that you can try and translate. Then there's Sabe Inglés, that it's another one. It's again, includes translations for English and Portuguese. It has common expressions in English and Portuguese, and it's perfect to follow for beginners to intermediate level learners, I think. Then there's Ser Fluente Agora, translate expressions more, etc. I also follow a lot of pages to do with Portugal or Brazil, so that I can see more of the culture, such as like food pages, nature pages, activity pages, like anything like that. I just like to follow so that I can get more familiar with the cultures that I'm trying to learn, learn, was that the right word? I don't know. Okay, the next section is how I practice in parts and how I like to learn. Usually I'll follow a video that I've watched to base what I practice for that day. For example, I would watch a video about the difference between tomar and bebe. I'll practice that by writing phrases down from the video that I can remember, as well as any rules I should follow when using that word or phrase. I will also focus on words or rules that I'm confused about. For example, I will either watch a video about it or Google Translate it to get more familiar with it. I often get confused with words such as ir, as well as contractual words and combinations such as aus, nas, dos, and more. So I like to practice that. Another method I like to use is copying from Duolingo. For example, I'll write down words and rules from the tips section. I'll include a thing of the tips here so you can see what I'm talking about. Any new words that I learn on Duolingo I like to write down straight away so that I can try and remember them. I also do this with any words that I repetitively forget or use incorrectly. I use the Duolingo story section to practice how to speak with natives. I will write these down, practice talking to improve my pronunciation, reading and accent. These story sections are actually very useful because it gives you real life situations that you may face, such as going to the doctors, going to birthday party, asking for directions, which is really great because you can then practice and become more familiar with those types of conversations that you might have to have with a native. Another way I like to learn is by writing down things I can remember, often grouping them, such as I'll write a list of the colours in Portuguese that I can remember, numbers, days of the week, months, just basics that you might need. I like to write those down and just see how many I can remember and look back on them if I ever get confused.
So here are some of the useful phrases that I've written down. And here's some more things that I struggle with. I give myself little tests, basically to translate sentences myself and say to my friends, oh, is this right? Have I done this right? Or I'll go and Google Translate and see, you know, whether I've got that right or wrong. I like to watch videos or series in Portuguese. I don't do this often, but I will do this sometimes. It helps me to expand my vocabulary and improve my listening skills. I also like to listen to songs in Portuguese and also Spanish recently. I just really like Spanish songs. I'd like to learn Spanish someday in my life, so that's also helpful. And there are similarities between Italian, Spanish and Portuguese. Not a lot as people think, like Portuguese and Spanish is the same language for some reason, but yeah, I like to listen to songs in that language. And the final tip I'm going to give you guys is to practice every day. Even if it's just for 10 minutes, do one little test on Duolingo. You're just keeping your mind fresh and you're keeping all that vocabulary in there and you're just reminding yourself. So those are my tips, guys, and I will include photos as well. I've got a lot of things like resources that I've used to like write down, such as this. This is like the Duolingo story that I like to go on, numbers in Portuguese, but yeah, I'll include this anyway. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that's a bit of a long one. I really did put a lot of thought and planning into this video, so I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, give it a like and subscribe if you aren't already. And I really hope that this has inspired you to either learn a language or to continue practicing a language that you are learning. I'd also like to thank my friend Naiara. She every single day she will send me something in Portuguese on Instagram. She will send me a graph or something, like, and she'll translate it to Portuguese from English. Bia, she always helps me. Julia, she always helps me. So yeah, I'm really lucky to have my friends who always help me. And Laís, she always helps me as well, so thank you guys.
And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on my next
It's just so good to be illegal. Need round two, I need a sequel.